Alright guys, we're doing something a little different today. I had a couple requests to do kind of a intro to Balatro, perhaps a tutorial of sorts, even an explanation or a Balatro for beginners video. So that's exactly what we're going to do today as we take requests very seriously around these parts. So let's get into it. I'm opening up a fresh account, if I can spell tutorial correctly, and we're going to explain everything about the game. So if you have no idea about anything, this is the spot for you to learn how to play this game. So first, let me show you kind of the layout, the lay of the land. So all we did was hit play. These are blinds, and in order to advance in the game, you have to beat each blind. And at the end of all three blinds, at the end of each round of blinds, there's a boss blind, and there's a debuff that comes with it. And if you beat the boss blind, you advance to the next ante, which you can see down here in the bottom left. Now we're on ante 1. If we were to beat this, we go to ante 2. And to beat the game in a standard way, you just have to beat ante 8. So now that you understand that, let's go ahead and select the first blind. Now you see we have cards that are just normal playing cards, and what we're supposed to do here is play poker hands. And a way to remember the poker hands as you're playing is you click this run info button here, and it shows you all the poker hands, and it's also listing an order of strongest to weakest hand. So you can see this hand called high card is the lowest hand in the game. And I didn't realize that you could hover over them to show exactly what they are. I had a separate tab prepared to show you all the poker hands, but clearly I can just hover here and it's going to show it. So I'm going to assume you guys don't even know what poker hands are, so let's start from the beginning. A high card. That is if you are only playing, you're only going to get one card scored. It basically means that you don't have any of the other hands. So for example, if I just play queen, that's a high card. If I play queen and a bunch of trash, it's going to be high card still, because these are still lower card and they're not adding anything to make it a hand. Now, I feel like to understand high card, you have to understand what the other hands are. So let's just get into those. Pair. Pair is pretty simple. I would just play a pair of threes. Okay? So that's the second worst hand. Two pair, pretty simple. I have two pair here. Just two pairs. A little bit stronger. Three of a kind is three of something. You start to see that it's not that complicated what poker hands are, right? As you keep going. But you see that three is higher than two pairs. Now that's something that might take you a second to learn. But like I said, you can always check on this run info here to see what is ranked higher. And if you didn't realize that this is worst to best, you can just look at the numbers and see that this equation here, 30 times 3, is going to be higher than 20 times 2. Next up, we have straight. Now this is one that might take a second to learn, but it's not that crazy. It's just 5 cards in a row. Okay? So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, just 5 in a row. And if you look here, right here, bottom right, you can click on this and it's going to show you every card in your deck. Okay, so here's all the cards in my deck. This is what a standard deck of cards looks like. It's 4 suits and the exact same number of each suit. And it goes ace all the way down to 2. Now ace can be played in a straight as a high or a low card. So ace can be the best card, or it can be the lowest card in terms of a straight. You can go 5, 4, 3, 2, ace. But you're still going to get, see 11 chips, you're still going to get those 11 chips, even if you're playing it at the bottom. And 11 is higher than any other. As you can see, these face cards are 10 chips, and then it goes down from there. Okay? I know I'm throwing a lot at you guys, but I'm trying to keep it simple along the way. So, yes, ace can be high or low. There are 4 suits, and a straight is just 5 in a row. And these face cards, it goes king, then queen, then jack. And you can always check this by just clicking on your deck here. Okay? Let's go to the next hand. Flush. Flush is 5 cards of the same suit, so we'll go back to here. If you just play 5 hearts, 5 club, 5 of the same. And that is a stronger hand than a straight, which a lot of people get confused. Flush is slightly stronger. Okay? So, on my hand here, I actually have 4 hearts already. You can sort by certain things. So if you sort by suit, it becomes even more clear that, okay, I'm only 1 away from a flush in my hand. Next up is a full house. That would be a 3 of a kind plus a pair. Play them both at the same time, a 3 and a 2. That becomes a very strong hand. And this is like the best hand that is like likely to find at the beginning of the game. The next 2 you'll see are very unlikely to find. So next up we have 4 of a kind. That is 4, right? But here's the thing. When you start your game, you only have 4 of each thing. And there are 52 total cards in your deck, so you're not likely to find a 4 of a kind. If you find this, you're very lucky, okay? But it's very strong. It's much stronger than anything else we've covered so far. Same with this next hand. Straight flush. By far the strongest. It involves playing 5 in a row, but they're all the same suit. Very, very, very unlikely. Very unlikely. Okay? Now, I will say, as you progress in the game, there are hands that are not listed here because they are higher than straight flush. And we might not cover them today because you don't need to know about those hands to learn how to play the game. That's just kind of like a bonus that you'll play as you advance further and further into the game. But there are hands above straight flush that you can't even play until you mess with your deck a little bit. Okay? So, anyways, let's start playing the game now that you know what the poker hands are. One more thing before we start playing the game. Let's go over some of this information here on the left side of the screen. 300 up here is the total amount of points we need to score to beat this blind. I mentioned how we need to beat the blinds to advance in the game. To beat this first one, we need 300 total points. So how do you score points, right? Here you see an equation 0 times 0. If I start to play some cards, you see that those numbers start to change. And if I play a 2 pair, that's 20 times 2. It'd be what, 40 points? You might be thinking, well, that's nowhere near 300. How do you even get to 300? Well, the cards that you play have additional scoring that will increase this number. So the number on the left is the chips. The number on the right is the multiplier. Okay? So these chips will go on the left side of the equation. So this is what? Not that much. This is 6, 4, this is 10. So this will go up to 30 times 2. Still a pretty bad hand. I don't recommend just playing 3s and 2s. Those are obviously the lowest cards in the entire game. If you look back to here, 3s and 2s are at the very bottom. So I don't recommend going for those. Now, we have 4 hands and 4 discards. This is what you're able to use to your advantage to get the highest score that you need to advance. Okay? So we have 4 hands, we have 4 discards. You can discard up to 5 cards at a time. So let's just get rid of these bad cards, and we get 5 new ones, okay? Now I'll give you guys a second. Do you see any hand that we just covered that we could play right now? Because I see a pretty good one. Alright, if you saw a straight, you're correct. We have a straight right here, okay? 30 times 4. Now notice the 4 instead of the 2 from our last multiplier. That's a pretty big difference. Multiplying this number by 4 instead of 2 is going to be a lot of points. And also remember, we're adding chips from all of these cards to the points. Now, I've played this game a lot. I know that this is close to 300. It might be over it, it might be slightly under it, but it's a very good hand. Now, what's the point of these hands? Obviously, that's how many hands that you get the opportunity to play before you lose. If you don't get 304 hands, you just lose, okay? But there's another twist. Here's our money, okay? Every hand that you don't use, but you beat the blind, like let's say we win with 1 hand. We'll have 3 hands left over. You'll get $3 extra that you just get to keep because you didn't use those hands, okay? And with that, I think we've explained everything. So let's play this hand and see if it wins. Okay, we were slightly under 300, but we still have 3 more hands. We have 3 more discards. We're in a great spot. Now here we have King, Queen, Jack, 10. We're very close to another straight, but I will say, in order to get a straight, we would need an ace or a 9, right? Let's think about it. There are 4 aces and 4 9s in the deck. That's 8 total cards. Or we have 4 clubs. All we would need to do is find 1 more club to have a flush. Now here's a little bit of an advanced tip, but it's something that I recommend you learn from the start. You click on your deck here. Actually, you can just hover over your deck without even clicking it. It's going to show you how many of each card do you have left. So remember, our aces and our 9s, we've already played or discarded a 9. I think we played it in the last hand. So there's only 3 9s left we could draw and only 4 aces. So that's 7 possible things that would give us our straight. Now for our flush, you can see there are 8 clubs. So the play that makes the most sense to me here is to let's discard in hopes of our 5th club. Because 8 possible cards versus 7 is just a slightly better play. Now you could obviously do the other way and just get the ace. See, we get the ace. So, you know, we weren't completely... We might have made the right play, but it didn't work. It doesn't always work. But we have 2 more discards. There's no shame in using all of your discards. And there we go. We got our club. Let's play it. And we get to advance. So now, here is like the end of blind screen. It shows that we earned money for completing the blind. We earned $3. And we had 2 extra hands that we didn't need. That's $2 more. So we get our $5. Okay? Now, here is the screen that you see in between blinds. Up here, we're going to be using this side of the screen. This is where our jokers go. Jokers are how you enhance your score besides just playing cards. And that's a massive part of the game, is what jokers you have, how you use your jokers, when you buy them, when you sell them, all that stuff. And that's what makes the game so fun. Aside from a few more things that make the game fun. But now, one change that they've made in this game is you always have this thing at the very first, after the first blind, you always have this thing called a buffoon pack. And this is going to have an option of jokers for us. So I always like to open this at the very beginning. And we get to choose one of these to pick. Just one. This one is just going to give us some money when we play face cards. But this one is going to give us some power. Now this, it changes the suit. Remember the suits? It's going to change the suit every round. And it's going to actually multiply our multiplier every time we play whatever suit it tells us that round. So this next upcoming round, it's going to be hearts. If we play 5 hearts, it would multiply our 5 times. But, you know, this card is a little risky because the suit changes at random every round. But it's okay for us to pick right now. So when I select this, it goes up here to our joker inventory. Okay? We have 5 potential slots that we can have for jokers. And yeah, that's about it. Here's another joker. This one is like a scaling joker, where it's every time you play a hand with only 4 cards, it'll actually increase the permanent amount of chips that it'll give you. So that's a cool one. I don't think it's necessarily that strong, so we're going to leave that alone. This is called a voucher. We don't even have enough money for it, so let's not explain it yet. We'll explain it a little bit later on in the video. And here's a tarot card. This can destroy cards in your deck. That's right, you can permanently destroy cards to kind of morph your deck into exactly what you want to play. So we'll be doing a lot of that type of stuff, but maybe not yet, because if you look over here, we have $5. There is interest in this game. Every $5 you have at the end of a round, you get $1 of interest. That goes up to 25. So I think we have enough power with our joker here. Let's stick to $5 of interest and go to the next round. We select the blind. As you can see now, we need 450, not just 300. Now, remember, our Ancient Joker is hearts. So our strongest hand would be to just play a flush with all hearts. Now, we got a bit unlucky. We didn't draw any hearts. We only have 4 discards, so it could be risky to try to find our hearts. But we didn't draw any other hand to go for. All we have is a pair of 7s, right? There's no straight here. There's nothing like that. So I think we're just going to discard and hope we can find a bunch of hearts. Now, we do have 3 2s, but remember, 2s are the very weakest card in the game. You only get 2 chips per 2. So this is an okay hand, but it's not very good. Let's not play our 2s. Let's discard again. We still have 3 more discards. I still think we'll find our 5 hearts. All right, we got 2 more hearts. We need 2 more hearts, simply put. There we have it. We have 5 hearts. Now, I think this hand is going to be very strong, but we still have 1 more discard. Might as well discard again. Remember, we have our 5 hearts here, so we can get rid of the 2. We're looking for just a stronger heart. We could find the ace, we could find the queen, we could find these. So let's use our last discard. We didn't find it, but that's okay. Now watch as this thing will multiply this number every time we play a heart. And watch the power of multiplying your multiplier. It's very, very strong. Watch the exponential increase. Boom, 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 boom. That thing went all the way up to 30. And as you can see, we scored 2,000, over 2,000 compared to only needing 450. So having a multiplier like this is very strong. And as you can see, it's now spades. It's not even hearts anymore. Okay? So now we have $13. As you can see from last time, we're pretty strong. We don't really need to buy anything. Okay? So let's kind of ignore everything on the screen and keep it moving. It's always good if you're strong enough to not buy, because it'll save your money for when you need to spend it. You want to at least get to $25 so that you're at the max interest. And then it makes sense to buy stuff even if you don't need to buy stuff. Okay? Now, let's look for our spades. Also, this is our first boss blind. You can read it up here. Every boss has like a name, and they have like a debuff that they cast upon you for this round only. So this is discards 2 random cards per hand played. So that means when I play a hand, let's say this is the hand I play, this will be the card still in my hand. It'll discard 2 of those at random every time I play a hand. Okay? But if we kill this boss in one hand, then its debuff is not going to affect us very much. Every boss has a different debuff, and it'll take you a little bit of time to learn how to play against the bosses because they're pretty challenging. But it's part of the enjoyment of the game is going against the bosses. Okay, so here we have it. I'm actually really dumb. I forgot that it was spades and not hearts. I just went for the hearts flush. But you guys see what I found? I found the best hand in the game while being dumb. I found a straight flush. It's a flush, but it's also 5 in a row. So even though I kind of screwed up, I played correctly in going for the highest possible flush, and I got a little bit rewarded. And the straight flush is so strong that it won without using our joker. But it won't stay that way for the rest of the game. The blinds, now that we beat the first ante, the blinds keep going up. Last round was 600, now it's 800, and it goes up from there. So here we have it, some more jokers. These are pretty good jokers. I'm trying to think if I want to buy them. I think I'm going to go with this one. This one's pretty fun. This one makes it, you see how like the picture is 4 fingers instead of 5? That's the name of the joker. Like this one has a name. This one, it's called 4 fingers. It makes it so you can play your straights and your flushes with just 4 cards. Remember your flush, 5 of the same suit, straight, 5 in a row. Now it's 4 and 4, which makes it a lot more likely that you can play these hands. And that's going to be great for us because remember, we have this Ancient Joker. So now all we need is 4 clubs to play our flush. So let's not forget, let's go for clubs this time. Using our discards a little bit quicker this time because we know exactly what we're looking for. We're just looking for clubs. Discard the 2 because it's such a low card. Alright, we used all of our discards. We can sort by suit or by rank, it doesn't really matter. We're going to play this. As you can see, this is only 4 cards, but it's a flush now. Now the thing is, we could also play a 5th one, and it's just going to give us more multiplier. There's no reason not to play the 5th one. It's just going to be stronger. And we easily won. Now you guys have the basics in this game, but there's a lot more that we haven't gotten to yet. Let's cover the voucher now. We're at $25. It could make sense to sit there, but I'm okay with buying this voucher now. Now, a voucher will appear once every ante. There will be 1 voucher. So if I buy this voucher, a new one won't appear until we reach ante 3. So using that information, you can wait until the very end. Like when the boss is upcoming, then you buy your voucher because it's your last chance to buy it. Okay? But let's just buy it a little bit early. This voucher will give us an extra hand per round for the rest of the game. So after I redeem this, watch this number. It goes up to 5. So that can be very useful, obviously. Now, the 2 jokers we bought, this one kind of has given us power. This one's given us utility. Let's buy this one. This one gives us money, okay? It's called the mail-in rebate. Every time we discard a 10, we earn $5. But that 10 will change every round. So let's go ahead and use it in action. No 10s. Let's check our Ancient Joker. It's diamonds. So we're going for diamonds this round. So we're looking for diamonds and 10s to discard. Unfortunately, our 10 is diamonds. Let's not discard it until we know we can. Let's wait till the last discard, I think. Let's just be greedy. Let's discard the 10 of diamonds. We're confident that we'll find 1 more diamond and 2 discards. Let's get our $5. Okay, we found our diamonds and we found another 10. So this will give us another $5. So this rebate is a very, very powerful joker to get your money up quickly. It's one of my favorite money jokers. Now we have our flush with the Ancient Joker. Let's go ahead and play it again. We get our multiplied mult and we get our comfy little 2000 score. Now you might be thinking, okay, 2000, that's great, but we need to get higher than that. Let's do that then. This is called a Celestial Pack. Okay, let's open it up. Now here we have planet cards. What do the planet cards do? They upgrade your poker hands. As you can see here, all of our poker hands are level 1. If we increase the level, these numbers will go up, okay? Now if you hover over these cards, you see the increase that you would get by selecting them, okay? So this is 15 chips and 2. This is 25 chips and 2. This is 40 chips and 4. Now generally, the higher up your hand is on this list, the higher up it will scale when you buy a planet card for it. So you saw the Neptune gave the most. Well, it's for straight flush, so it's the highest hand. And then the Earth gave more than the Jupiter. That's because flush or full house is higher than flush, right? Full house is Earth, it's more than flush. But as you guys may have noticed, we're playing a lot of flushes this game. So we're going to take the weakest one because it helps us on the hand that we've been finding. So let's go ahead and buy the Jupiter. And it's going to increase our flush. Okay? Now, this is going to be... Let's actually not buy this one. Let's buy this one. This will +1 our hand size, okay? So let's go to the next round. Hand size is the size of this, right? It was 8 cards in our hand before, now it's 9. which is going to help us a lot when we're looking for our fours to discard and our flushes. Okay? This is another utility joker that's pretty good now when the score we need is low, but later on it will fall off. Okay, so we're going to go for clubs this time and look for fours. We have a bunch of clubs. Make sure you're discarding 5 cards unless you have something you need already. Okay, this boss blind is debuffing all our hard cards. So this is actually something I'm not sure about. I don't know if we're going to get our $5 for this 4. I think we might, but it is debuffed. Let's see. We did not get our $5 because it's debuffed. So a debuffed card, you might be wondering, it scores no points when you play it, and you can see all abilities are debuffed. Apparently that includes discarding it for money. But we found 2 non-debuffed 4s. Let's go ahead and get $10 for discarding those. Very nice. So as you can see, our money is starting to go crazy. And we actually have a straight flush, which 100 times 8 is better than our flush. Even though we leveled it up, it's still weaker than the straight flush. So let's go for that. Oh, we just unlocked a new joker. If you saw on the right, there are plenty of jokers that you get by doing cool things in this game that allow you to eventually find those jokers in the game. Now this is a great one. This is even more hand size. Hand size is great. It's going to help you find your hands. And there are other things in this game that benefit from keeping cards in your hand that we might find in this video, or you might have to find it out for yourself. So we open up another Celestial pack. This time we don't find Jupiter. We really have just been playing Jupiter. So let's go ahead and stick to the synergies that we already have. If you remember, our 4 fingers works for flushes and straights. So let's go for the card that levels up our straight. And so these cards that you're seeing here are plus multiplier. And this is a little complicated, but plus multiplier is usually good. But since we have times multiplier, it's not as good, okay? The times multiplier is getting scored when our cards are played. The jokers get scored after the cards are played. So adding to your multiplier after multiplying it isn't as good as the other way around. It's always good to add mult and then multiply it at the end, okay? But the Ancient Joker is doing that before. So we're not going to worry about a card like this that just gives us flat multiplier. Let's go ahead and just buy this pack. Let's take the Saturn. So we could not find a Jupiter there. Let's go next. And our Ancient Joker is Spades again. And our thing is 4s. As you can see, our hand is like even bigger. It's 10 cards now. So even though we upgraded our straights twice, it's still going to be to our benefit to play the flush. Let's discard the 4 for our $5. We still want to play the flush because this multiplier is very powerful for our scoring. So I'm pretty sure that the flush level 2 is still stronger than the straight, even though the straight has more of this, because you can play maximum amount of spades. Okay, look at that, we got another straight flush. Okay, remember the 4 fingers, right? We didn't need 5, we only needed 4 in a row. The 5th one is just like, you know, the cherry on top. Okay, let's play this. 8,000 points. Okay, so we're not gonna play the whole game this video because I'm trying to keep these videos a little shorter, maybe about 40 minutes. Let's keep going a little bit longer. Okay, this is a fun one. It's called the Seltzer, and it'll re-trigger your cards. Let's explain that once we get to the next round, because I want to show you guys what an Arcana pack is. These are some of the most fun parts of the game. These are called tarot cards, okay? And they modify your deck, okay? Our deck is still very standard, right? We still have the same 52 cards we started with. You can change that. Now this one gives us 2 random planet cards. But remember, we're kind of sticking to like a couple hands here. Random cards might not do the most for us. This is a glass card. Remember, the multiplied mult is very strong. This gives you times 2 mult when you play the card. Our Ancient Joker is only X 1.5. This is very strong. I generally go for these later on in the game because the cards can break when you play a glass card. Just 25% chance. So save this for when I need it. So let's go for the Devil here. This turns a card into a gold card, and that means when you leave this card on the bench, when you win a round, it earns you money. So you want to kind of keep it around without playing it, pretty much. So let's not put it on any of our best cards or any of our worst cards, because we're going to want to discard those. So let's put it on a card in the middle like the 9. Now it's a nice golden card. Looks really cool, doesn't it? We can make the cards look like a bunch of other stuff than just that. And now a standard pack. This is how you add cards to your deck. We can go over 52. Let's take a look. Wow, look, this looks so different, okay? Let's start from the left. This is a blue seal. There are seals in this game. There's a blue, red, and purple, and gold, okay? The blue seal, if you keep it on your bench just like that gold card, it'll give you the planet card for the hand that won the round. Okay, so if we win with a flush, we'll get that Jupiter card. If we win with the straight flush, we'll get the Neptune card. So it's a very good way to scale throughout the game, because it increases the hand that you're already winning with. So it's really, really good. I love having blue seals in this game. This is what the glass card looks like that we talked about earlier. This is a wild card. A wild card, you can use it as any suit. Now, you might be thinking, that's amazing with Ancient Joker. And you'd be correct. It would score the X 1.5 every single time. But there are boss blinds that will debuff suits, and it will get debuffed for every single suit, because it is every suit. So wild cards are risky. And this is a stone. This does not count as like an actual card. Like, it doesn't count as any of these numbers. But it gives you 50 chips when you play it. The highest actual card is 11. So it doesn't work for a poker hand. It just gives you flat chips. But you can tack it on to the hand. It can like, let's say you play a pair. You can play a pair and a stone, and it'll score along with that. Okay? And that's a normal 2. So let's take the blue seal, because we would love to get more planet cards. Now, that was a lot of explaining, and I still haven't talked about this Joker, okay? We drew our blue seal. That's fantastic, okay? Let's check out this. We're looking for hearts. Let's check out this. We're looking to discard kings. So hearts, discard kings, okay? Remember, we're going to keep this around. We got some hearts. Keep our gold card around as well for money. Hearts, discard kings. No kings. Only have 2 discards left. We do have our hearts. Alright. I mean, we're not always going to find the perfect thing to discard, unfortunately. Alright. Now, we've reached the point where it's 3,000 to win. And you remember, our flushes have been doing about 2,000. But, check this out. This is going to re-trigger every single card when we play it. Okay? Let's go back over to our Ancient. This gives us our mult when it is triggered. So we're going to get this twice per card. So that should... You would think, oh, it's going to double our score. No. This is multiplied mult. So this is going to exponentially increase our score. So we're going to score a lot here. So this is going to help us a lot. But you can see we don't have this joker permanently. This is only going to work for the next 10 hands. So this is like a temporary huge increase in our power. Let's watch it in action. See, it's scoring each one twice. We went all the way up to 43,000. Huge increase. We had the blue seal, so we got our extra Jupiter, and our base score goes up. And that's a very, very, very important thing, because all of that multiplying we're doing, it's now starting at 8 instead of like 6 before. So that base number increasing just makes everything get a lot stronger. And then we also got more chips, which is important because you need the other side of the equation. So just always get planet cards for the hand that you're playing, would be my recommendation. Let's check out these 2 more standard packs, because we reached that point where we're well over $25, so we can spend our money. Look for good stuff to add to our deck. Wow, look at this, guys. We have a blue seal, and it's a gold card, and there's a third thing here called holographic. Now, there are auras that can come along with cards. This one's also holographic, that you can have on top of an enhancement, which is like a gold card or a glass card or a stone card. You can have an aura on top of it, and this aura is called holographic, and it gives you plus 10 mult. So let's say that we had this, and then the ancient joker was clubs. We would play it. It would give the plus 10 mult. Then it would multiply that plus this number by 1.5. So everything scales together. It's a very good card. But of course, we're going to be using this by not playing it. We're going to keep it on our bench. We're going to get the blue seal value and the gold card value. It's a great card for us. So I don't expect to get anything that good in this pack. Here's a gold seal. You just earn $3 when you play this. It's solid. It's not as confusing as the blue seal, perhaps. But let's take another blue seal. You want to have a lot of blue seals because you might not always find them. If you look over here, this is our consumable area. This is where the planet cards from the blue seals will come. And you can see we have a maximum of 2. So there's no point in having 3 blue seals on your bench. If you ever got so lucky to have 3 blue seals, you can discard to stay at 2. Alright, we're facing a boss here. All clubs are debuffed. Good thing our ancient joker is not clubs, or that would be a problem. Our awesome new card, we can't even use it because it's a club. One more thing about the bosses. Since we're facing this boss now, we will never face it again. You can only face each boss once per run. So we never have to worry about the all clubs debuffed boss again, which doesn't really matter to us now. I just wanted to mention that. Let's discard all of those. We're going for spades and 2s. Haven't found any spades yet, which is just crazy. Where are the spades? Found 1 spade. Okay, sort by suit. We have 4 spades. We ran out of discards. Unfortunately, we're going to have to use one of our hands to discard. We're just going to play 5 bad cards. Now, what's really unfortunate about this is our seltzer is going to go down. We only have this for 9 hands. We're pretty much wasting one of those. Actually, let's just play these 4. I mean, we have the 4 fingers, right? Let's just play the 4 fingers. I think this should be enough to win. That way we save our seltzer value. Yeah. You see those, when those flames show up, that means that you're winning. You're going to win the round. All right. I'd say this is about that time where I'm going to call it here, guys. I hope you guys learned a lot. If you want me to continue this series in any way, let me know. I'll pause this run right here, and we can pick it back up later and continue on. If you have questions about specific things, let me know. Be happy to answer those. Otherwise, until next time, I'll see you guys.